goes away. The things I plan to say, oh baby.
Hello, crafty friends. It's me, Lisa the DIY Diva, and today I'm going to show you how to make chalk paint. Yes, I did this out of necessity. I needed some chalk paint, so I needed to make some, and I thought I would show you how to do it. So you need a jar, some calcium carbonate, and the paint, and then some measuring tools, and of course some water. You also need a stirring stick. So I have this jar, and I'm going to start off by taking some of this calcium carbonate powder and putting it into the jar. So I was just using a tablespoon to measure off some of the calcium carbonate and put it into the jar. And then I used about a quarter cup of water and mixed those two ingredients together. Yep, I added the water to the calcium carbonate that is in the jar and then blended it together until it was smooth. Now it's best if you add a little bit of water at a time. So I've got my calcium carbonate mixture and I'm going to pour some of it into another jar. Then I'm going to take the paint that I'm going to be using for my project and I'm going to add the paint. So this was a brand new bottle of paint and I got it at Hobby Lobby, and this is the color terracotta, just an acrylic paint, but you can use any paint that you want to get this chalk paint appearance. So then I just blended in the paint to my calcium carbonate mixture, and that is pretty much it. That is how you make chalk paint. It's very easy to do. And you can tell if you're successful by pulling out the stirring stick and seeing that there's no lumps and clumps. That's why you mix the calcium carbonate powder into the water first. Next, I labeled the jar, so that way I'll know that this is terracotta chalk paint. And I also had some leftover calcium carbonate mixtures, and I don't want to waste it because I'm sure I will find something that I can use this for. So I went ahead and labeled the lid calcium carbonate mix and put the lid back onto the jar, and that way I can store it until I need it again. And I had this vase. This is what I wanted to paint, this terracotta color. So I used a chip brush to paint the first layer of the paint on. And this paint is pretty thin, so I did a thin coat of the paint for the first coat. I would recommend doing thinner coats and less paint on the project because you don't want to have any runs. And the chip brush did work pretty well, but when you want to have a very smooth finish, you'll want to use a different type of paintbrush. I let it fully dry before moving on to the next coat of paint. So this is one coat of the paint so far, and you can still see the glass through it a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and give it another coat of paint. Now the second coat of paint, I probably should have switched my paint brushes because the chip brush was actually taking off some of that first layer of paint. And after the second layer of paint dried, I did go back with a different paintbrush and I gave it one more coat of paint. And I got the idea for this by looking at Pottery Barn, and they had a big vase like this, but it was a gray finish. I wanted mine to be terracotta though, but that was how I was inspired to create this vase, which was just a vase that I had in a Dollar Tree candlestick. So all in, I have 3 coats of paint on my terracotta vase. I did go ahead and paint even the bottom, and this is my end result. This is my DIY chalk paint in terracotta. And this is exactly the finish that I was going for. And I did this because I wanted to try different faux painting techniques on glass and ceramics and even plastic. And I'm very happy with the results that this homemade chalk paint gave me. Now I am going to have a video coming up pretty soon, and I'm going to show you 15 different faux painting techniques. And all of these different vases and vessels, I'm going to show you exactly step by step how I was able to create these finishes. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click that bell notification so that way you'll know every time I have a new video coming out.